Words cannot describe the anguish and despair that we are feeling as the parents of our beautiful daughter Madeleine. We request that anyone who may have any information related to Madeleine's disappearance, no matter how trivial, contact the Portuguese police and help us get her back safely.
On May 3, 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann went missing from her family's hotel room during their vacation in Praia da Luz, Portugal, a case that remains unsolved to this day. She disappeared from her bedroom within the apartment where her family was staying at the Praia da Luz resort in Portugal while her parents, Kate and Jerry, were dining with friends, famously known as the Tapas 7, at a nearby restaurant. The apartment was broken into while Madeleine and her twin baby siblings were asleep. This is the conclusion reached by the police, but is that what happened? Welcome to InsightWave, the channel that delves into both solved and unsolved cases from around the world. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest crime stories delivered straight to your inbox. Kate Healy was born in 1968 in Huyton, near Liverpool. She graduated in 1992 with a degree in medicine from the University of Dundee. Jerry McCann, born the same year as Kate, was also a medical scholar, in Glasgow. After working in obstetrics and gynecology, Kate became a GP. Jerry worked in sports medicine before moving into cardiology. Their friends often described the couple as inseparable. Their paths first crossed during their tenure as junior doctors at the Western Infirmary in Glasgow. In 1998, they sealed their love in marriage, and in 2003, they welcomed their first child, Madeleine, into the world through IVF treatment. 2 years later, their family expanded with the arrival of twins, Sean and Amelie. In 2005, the McCanns relocated to Rothley in Leicestershire when Jerry secured a position as a consultant cardiologist at Glenfield Hospital. Little did they know that their lives were about to take an unforeseen and heart-wrenching turn. In the spring of 2007, the McCann family set off on a long-anticipated vacation to the Algarve coast in Portugal. It was a period meant for relaxation and creating cherished memories together. In 2007, Kate and Jerry McCann embarked on a family vacation to Praia da Luz, a charming resort in Portugal, accompanied by their 3-year-old daughter, Madeleine, and her 2-year-old twin siblings. Their chosen accommodation was a ground-floor apartment, which they had rented for their stay. Tragedy struck on the fateful night of May 3, 2007, when Madeleine McCann mysteriously disappeared from their apartment. That evening, her parents had ventured to a nearby tapas restaurant at 8:30 p.m. to dine with friends, leaving the children in the room, still asleep, and unattended. It was only in retrospect that the McCanns remembered a haunting question from Maddie during breakfast that morning: "Why didn't you come when, my brother, and I cried last night?" This unsettling inquiry raised the possibility that an uninvited person might have entered the room, perhaps more than once. The restaurant's proximity to their apartment prompted the McCanns to periodically check on their children during dinner. However, it was at 10 p.m. when Kate McCann realized her daughter was missing, forever altering the trajectory of their lives. Since that harrowing night, Madeleine has remained missing, her fate shrouded in uncertainty. Among the initial suspects in the perplexing case of Madeleine McCann's disappearance was a 33-year-old man by the name of Robert Murat. This British-Portuguese real estate consultant resided in close proximity to the McCann's apartment. Curiously, around 9:15 p.m. on that ill-fated night, an observant witness had spotted a man heading in the direction of Murat's residence, carrying a child. At that point in time, nobody was aware that Madeleine was missing, and the thought that the child in question might have been her had not yet crossed anyone's mind. However, subsequent investigations revealed no concrete evidence linking Murat to the case, leading to the removal of his suspect status. Approximately 4 months after Madeleine McCann's disappearance, Portuguese law enforcement authorities took a surprising turn by adding Madeleine's parents to their list of arguidos, a term used in Portuguese law for suspects. Some members of the police force harbored suspicions that the young girl may have met her tragic fate within the confines of their apartment, suggesting that the entire narrative of a child abduction might have been constructed to conceal her death. While this may appear to be a severe accusation against parents enduring the agony of a missing child, authorities had their reasons for considering them as potential suspects. It was revealed that British police had deployed 2 sniffer dogs to the scene in July 2007, adding a layer of complexity to the already intricate investigation. One canine was trained specifically to detect human blood, the other, the scent of dead bodies. During the investigation, these trained sniffer dogs were meticulously taken through a variety of locations. However, what raised eyebrows and intensified the scrutiny was that the dogs only signaled their handlers when they were inside 2 specific places, the McCann family's apartment and the Renault Scenic rental car that the McCanns had acquired 24 days after their daughter's disappearance. This curious detection added a layer of intrigue to the already complex and puzzling case. Based on the unusual findings and the signals from the sniffer dogs, authorities began to entertain a troubling theory. They postulated that Jerry and Kate McCann might have concealed their daughter's lifeless body, staged a fictitious abduction scenario, and subsequently placed Madeleine's remains inside the rented Renault Scenic car several weeks after her initial disappearance. With Madeleine's body still eluding discovery, investigators suspected that the 2 adults had hidden her remains in an undisclosed location. The motive attributed to the McCanns in this distressing scenario was surprisingly ordinary: a tragic accident and the subsequent fear of facing criminal consequences. According to this theory, Jerry and Kate McCann, both medical professionals, had administered an excessive amount of sedative medication to their daughter in an attempt to ensure a peaceful evening among the adults. Regrettably, the medication allegedly had a fatal outcome, resulting in Madeleine's untimely demise. Faced with the horror of their child's accidental death, the parents were driven to concoct a fabricated abduction scenario in a desperate bid to avoid imprisonment. The suspicion surrounding the McCanns was further fueled by hair and fiber analysis conducted within the car and the apartment. However, it's worth noting that evidence derived from sniffer dogs, while compelling, is not always infallible. In a U.S. court case, the reliability of sniffer dog evidence was questioned, with findings suggesting inaccuracies ranging from 62 to 78%. DNA analysis, on the other hand, provided somewhat more compelling evidence. John Lowe from the UK's Forensic Science Service, FSS, reported that 15 out of 19 components of Madeleine's DNA profile were discovered in the hired car. Nonetheless, this revelation came with significant caveats, leaving room for reasonable doubt. Lowe explained, "It's important to stress that 50% of Madeleine's profile will be shared with each parent. It is not possible, in a mixture of more than 2 people, to determine or evaluate which specific DNA components pair with each other. Therefore, we cannot answer the question, is the match genuine, or is it a chance match?" The complexity of the DNA analysis added a layer of uncertainty to the already intricate web of evidence and theories surrounding Madeleine McCann's disappearance. In July 2008, Kate and Jerry McCann were relieved when their suspect status was finally lifted. They had endured a period of immense scrutiny and distress, with the initial suspicions against them being described as ludicrous by the couple. Throughout the arduous years that followed, and even now, nearly 13 years after the heart-wrenching disappearance of their daughter, Madeleine, the McCanns continue to hold on to hope that someday, against all odds, they might be reunited with their beloved child. In the meantime, many alternative theories have sprung up. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann has given rise to a range of theories, each offering a unique perspective. A theory that has circulated revolves around a potential burglary gone awry. According to this narrative, Madeleine may have been abducted after waking up and encountering the criminals. Scotland Yard, while not dismissing this scenario entirely, also recognizes the potential for burglars to act impulsively, leaving behind conspicuous evidence. In 2014, for local individuals in Praia da Luz, whose whereabouts at the time of Madeleine McCann's disappearance seemed to align with a burglary pattern, were brought in for questioning but were subsequently released due to insufficient concrete evidence. Carlos Anjos, the former head of the Policia Judiciaria Officers Union, never regarded this hypothesis as credible. He remarked, "This burglary theory is absurd. Not even a wallet disappeared, no television disappeared, nothing else disappeared. A child disappeared." Another theory suggests that Madeleine was abducted by a local pedophile. Reports from 2009 revealed a troubling presence of pedophiles in the region during the period when she went missing. One source at that time noted, there are 38 known sex offenders in the Algarve. The area is a magnet for pedophiles. Additionally, there were reports of 7 sexual assaults involving children of tourists in the Algarve over the past 4 years, all sharing a modus operandi similar to Madeleine's disappearance, break-ins at holiday apartments followed by child molestation. Curiously, former MP Sir Clement Freud, who had a holiday home in the area and was acquainted with the McCanns, was later exposed as a pedophile. One of his previous victims expressed feeling uneasy upon realizing his connection to Madeleine's parents, saying, "Nobody else would have thought Freud capable of abuse and rape, but he did it to me." Nonetheless, investigators have emphasized that pedophiles rarely resort to breaking into homes to access children. Yet another theory proposes that Madeleine wandered outside after waking up and was struck by a vehicle. The driver, overwhelmed by panic, might have disposed of her body. However, this theory lacks substantial support. Family sources have asserted that Madeleine lacked the physical capability to open heavy window shutters or venture outside. Moreover, it raises perplexing questions about why she would have ventured towards a potentially perilous road rather than the well-lit and bustling restaurant area. These theories contribute to the intricacy of the Madeleine McCann case, each offering its own interpretation while leaving the ultimate truth shrouded in uncertainty. In the aftermath of Jeffrey Epstein's case, a compelling theory emerged about child trafficking in the context of Madeleine McCann's disappearance. In 2008, an investigation explored the possibility that Madeleine was abducted for a pedophile ring in Belgium. They allegedly ordered a young girl, possibly with a prior photo of Madeleine. There were speculations of her being taken to Lagos Marina, close to the hotel, and placed on a boat to Morocco, a route often used for trafficking to Mauritania, the last country to abolish slavery. Colin Sutton, a former Scotland Yard detective, acknowledged the viability of this route. In 2019, Netflix's The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann covered the case's history, Algarve as a holiday destination, and media frenzy. In 2020, German authorities identified Christian Bruckner as a suspect due to his presence near the incident site and disturbing statements. He had prior sexual assault convictions, including child-related charges. Bruckner, however, has never been charged over Madeleine's disappearance and has denied any involvement. In 2022, Kate and Jerry McCann welcomed the news of Bruckner's status as an arguido in Portugal. They appreciated progress but stressed he hadn't been charged with a crime linked to Madeleine's disappearance. Despite the slim hope, they held on to the belief that Madeleine might still be alive and they'd reunite with her. Their Facebook post expressed gratitude for the ongoing investigation by Portuguese, German, and British authorities. In February 2023, Madeleine's parents agreed to a DNA test to be completed by Julia Faustina, also known as Julia Wendell, a Polish woman who went viral after saying she believes she may be their daughter. Faustina, who started posting on social media under the handle I am Madeleine McCann, said she was kidnapped as a toddler and doesn't remember large parts of her childhood. The only parts she does remember, she says, are holidays in a hot place where was a beach and white or very light-colored buildings with apartments. In other posts, she pointed out their physical similarities, including the distinctive brown smudge on both or their right irises. I have similar eyes, shape of face, ears, lips, I had the gap between the teeth, as Madeleine, she wrote. I need to know the truth. I need a DNA test and I need to talk with Madeleine's parents. Help me. However, a DNA test later determined she is not Madeleine McCann. As of now, the disappearance of Madeleine McCann remains unsolved and her family is still seeking the closure they've so desperately needed for some 16 years.